Homeland Security just did the biggest worksite raid in the department's 2-decade history. They raided the Hyundai electric car factory just outside Savannah, Georgia, using 400 agents to detain 475 foreign workers, with most of them being South Korean nationals with the wrong type of visas. The decision from the US government to do this makes sense from one angle. The current administration has set a clear goal of finding, arresting, and deporting as many illegal immigrants as possible. But it makes less sense looking from another angle, which is that the current administration wants to bring back US manufacturing and get foreign companies to invest in big projects in the US. This is exactly what the South Korean car company Hyundai was doing, with large support from the Republican political leaders in Georgia. Georgia's current governor, Brian Kemp, has put effort in to attract South Korean companies, even going as far as traveling there, and it has paid off. Out of the $55 billion South Korean companies have invested in the US since 2022, Georgia has received more than $21 billion of it, from 20 projects, with the car factory investment from Hyundai being the biggest, worth $12.6 billion. And there is a reason Georgia has become so attractive for South Korean companies. Georgia has heavily invested to make it attractive to invest in, by rezoning land to make it easier to build homes, constructing more schools, improving the roads, and making ports deeper and wider for ships bringing parts in and cars out. This is also not a new partnership that started in the last few years. The relationship between Georgia and South Korea stretches back 40 years to the establishment of Georgia's trade office in Seoul. This can even be seen in the languages spoken in Georgia. The third most spoken language in Georgia, after English and Spanish, is Korean. Overall, this Hyundai factory has been a huge success for Georgia and its economy. The factory celebrated its grand opening in March, and although many of the managers are Korean, the suppliers are mostly locals. Within an hour's drive of the car factory, there are 20 companies that sell materials or component parts to Hyundai, where locally sourced products will make up more than 90% of the finished cars coming out from the factory. The raid now puts Kemp in an awkward position, since the governor sees the factory as his biggest economic achievement, but at the same time, he decided to go along with this raid. This large raid by Homeland Security of South Korean nationals have created reactions from Georgia's and South Korea's leaders. Georgia's political leaders insist that everything is going to be fine, even though the administration's immigration policy is conflicting with the interests of foreign investors. South Korea's political leaders, on the other hand, insist everything is not fine with this incident. The images of workers taken away in handcuffs to be detained has sparked outrage in South Korea. The South Korean president, Lee Jae-myung, said South Korean companies were likely to be hesitant about investing in the US in the future. The more than 300 South Koreans who were detained in the raid at the car factory got flown back home on a chartered Korean Air jet. Even though this immigration raid will likely not put the Hyundai factory at risk, since it is so far along, it could make other companies thinking about investing in the US feel less certain, showing how this raid that served one goal of the administration makes another goal more difficult.